I don't know what's going on. It said that there was a Twitch error again. So it is what it is.
Yeah, it's saying to go to actual Twitch and click and go live or something like that.
This is likely Trevor's fault because he went live on Twitch.
It's 100%
It's
his fault.
definitely his fault.
Yeah.
That was.
I don't know. Are we actually live right now? Because it says we're live.
We're not.
No, now we
yeah,
are.
no. Well, hold on. Yeah, but this is Trevor's fault.
Of course.
Perfect. Yep. Is he in the chat? Oh, yes, he is in the chat.
He is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, Trevor, this is all your fault. For anyone who's just now tuning in, this is all Trevor's fault. Make sure to direct all the Fs in the chat to OKS Gamer because it's not okay that our Twitch live stream is not working right now, but it should be. Ayo, yokoso, Kenzo da. That means welcome. I'm Kenzo, or as the panelists here call me, GG. Panelists, we got a special gang here lined up. Can you introduce yourselves?
Heck yeah, hey, I'm Matt from Digital Jedi Gaming.
I'm Clef. Sup?
I'm Nelly.
What's up, guys? I'm Zach.
Thank you, everyone, for your lovely introductions. I feel like there were a lot more awkward pauses in there than normal. And usually that's my fault. But as you can probably guess, I'm losing my voice a little bit, mostly from screaming at the clouds too much about more AYANEO drama and all this other stuff, maybe bait and switches as well. So that's kind of what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about the war on Windows handhelds, x86 handhelds. So, in other words, a war that's brought right to Nelly's doorstep. Right? From Android and ARM handhelds because, you know, she probably just thinks those are toys. Right? Are those toys? They're just toys, right?
I wouldn't know. I've never owned one.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Unbelievable.
Shots fired.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep, big time. Everyone who is a retro handheld enthusiast just unsubbed.
Oh. I'm sorry. I just felt Trevor.
There it is. I want to talk first now about the ongoing drama, which is what we've been previously referring to, which is our good, amazing friends, AYANEO. For those of you who haven't been in the know, AYANEO has come up more times than they probably should. Again, recently, one of the first news stories actually that came up was. I'm sorry, sir. Is there something funny about AYANEO blunders?
Not at all.
Oh, we're just glazing you, man. It's fine.
Perfect.
Literally.
Perfect. Okay, so the AYANEO Pocket S Mini, which will probably soon be replaced by the AYANEO Pocket S2 Mini or S Mini 2, whatever the name is going to be the buyers of this product are going to get a free handheld, right? The Pocket Air Mini. I think that's what is that, Matt? Is that a $80 handheld? $100 handheld?
Yeah, well, $100. It's $100 for shipping. So
$100 for shipping. Okay.
They're shipping the 2 gigabyte SKU, so it's $89.99.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Oh wow,
Thank
so they're shipping the 2 gig. I didn't realize that. I thought they were doing the 3 gig. Okay.
I wouldn't say it's a bait and switch, but somebody could easily say it's a bait and switch. There was something about them reporting there was a 6,000 milliamp hour battery on this handheld, but it turns out that it's actually 4,700 milliamp hours, and so as compensation, they are now given the Pocket Air Mini as a freebie. Does that sound right? Is that story right?
That is exactly right, and you haven't said it, but I will say it. I will definitely say it. It's a bait and switch, and I'll drop my theory after the fact. But yeah,
go with it. Tell me now.
Tell you now.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I was thinking about my donut. Okay, for sure. I mean, it sounds just too convenient. I hate to say it. It sounds too convenient. It sounds like a prepared. Let's get rid of some stock. Let's make it perceived as great value. But let's be real. The Pocket S Mini is not a great price. Dude, you can get a RP Mini V2 for less that has OLED screen. Okay, granted, the SoC is stronger on the Pocket S Mini, but those games that you're going to play on that format and size, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just convenient that they're getting rid of a SKU because of an issue. Give the people the option to get that full value deducted off of the price. Like, dude, how is that okay? Like, you say, oh, this is what it's going to cost, and then you backtrack on the specs, and then all of a sudden you don't give me my money back, at least for the worth of what you're taking away. That makes no sense. To me, that's a bait and switch. To me, that was planned, that was organized, that was a tactical move. I said it.
Who invited Jedi? Good question. Thank you for that super chat, Ernie. That's too kind of you. That was my, you leave the office for a day, and then, you come back in and like everything's all rearranged, and you're like, wait, why are there hearing aids on the table? And then,
Let me clarify. So Clef reached out to me and he said, hey, I'm getting a lot of flack because for being the only good looking dude on the show and it's getting taken high, I need somebody my level of flyness to join in. And I said, I got you, bro. I got you.
Wait,
And
were you saying that in front of the mirror? I'm confused.
Oh, no. It was a conversation Clef and I had.
Oh,
So
It's his daily affirmations.
I agree. As far as AYANEO is concerned, this is a conversation that we've all had over and over again. I'm not quite sure what the significance of putting a chip that powerful in a 4:3 aspect ratio devices. I don't see the use case in there. And I was talking about that on HU with, I think it was with Clef and Tulao Tech, and we're talking about it. And Tulao Tech was a great point. Yeah, why would they put that chip in DMG? It's a historical thing that they're doing. I think it's all intentional. I think Clef's 100% correct with that. I think I don't know if it's a ploy to pull people's money but this is the same company that compares themselves to Apple, and then they, pull the shenanigans with the battery, and then say, and then offer to give you your money back to make the difference. I'm 100% agree. I definitely think it was intentional. So.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, if you want to be like Apple, like why even advertise how much battery's in it? Like it has a battery in it. All right. I mean, that's Apple's
wow.
way to go here. So
Wow.
I don't.
He said
They
it.
just tell you how long it'll last for. That's all. They don't tell you what's in it.
Up to, and so then
Yeah.
you're good. Like,
Yeah.
Fair. What about, I know you're not really interested in this, Nelly, but like, what do you think of it? You think it's a bait and switch? You think it's tactical?
Oh, it's definitely a bait and switch. Everything that they're doing right now just seems so odd, but it like must be calculated and planned, but like everybody's calling it out. I mean, the jig's up.
Fair. Although they do have one jig that is not up, in case you still haven't gotten your Konkr Pocket Fit. Apparently, and this is definitely thanks to everyone in Discord. Thanks to Ernie for sharing this in our Discord. Once again, if you're not in the Discord, well, you're definitely missing out, because you're missing out on a lot of awesome conversations with all of these people here. You can see the Konkr Pocket Fit is now listed on Target. And you can buy this handheld. I think this is the same price. I don't know. You could correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. So if somehow you are a backer of the Konkr Pocket Fit and you still haven't got it yet, you absolutely, unequivocally, unquestionably have, a reason to like, I would say, light up that pitchfork too, not just carry it. It's because this is some kind of strategic move, surely, to get themselves better positioned in brick and mortar. And I mean, realistically, who wouldn't, right? When we talk about, for example, Steam Deck, a lot of people always say, like, well, the new Valve hardware and stuff, the big issue is that Valve is the direct supplier of it. Like, it's a good and the bad, because, a person can't just walk into a Walmart, can't walk into a Target or a Best Buy or whatever and buy one of these things. But if there is a potential for that in a case like this, yeah, it definitely increases exposure, which I think overall is good for the community, but maybe not like this, is that the meme, Zach? Is that meme right? Like not like this.
I'm not surprised by anything anymore. Like, I don't know. I'm trying not to be cynical today, but yeah, it is. This is just like saying, water's wet, sky's blue, AYANEO screws something up. I'm just not even surprised anymore.
Oh no. We've lost Zach in the AYANEO crew. But hopefully Zach will come back for their latest announcement. And this is the last thing I want to talk about AYANEO, because they can't take over this whole show. We have to talk about, other Android and other ARM products here. So take a look at this though, in case you missed it. Now you wanted your Sony Xperia back. You wanted a phone with, I guess, an MCon type thing on the back of it. We now have the AYANEO Pocket Play. What do we all make of this thing?
I'm here thinking, why is it that they put a filter on the one shot and the entire video where you can see the thickness, which is happening just now. And it's like, once again, I just, here, how can you tell what the thickness is? It's the only time that you have kind of a side view of the device and we don't see it. And if you're going to go for a phone market, it's going to be important. It's going to be important how thick that device is going to be. And the fact that we're missing that piece of info, again, just feels like, man, there's just so much
Hold the
deception.
screen. Hold the screen here. I'm just gonna just gonna measure.
There's just so much deception with AYANEO in general. I can see the value for that. The chip is known. That is clearly something that people seem to not be too happy about that, but I'll let other panelists to talk about that. I like what it potentially seems to stand for, but at the same time, I'm here thinking, man, I see deception. I see deception. And then there's also the fact that, that was technically on hold. That was on hold for like 2 minutes. So, just deceptions after deceptions. It's challenging to be excited about AYANEO right now.
Matt, you mind filling us in on the Pocket Play?
I mean, yeah, just kind of what's publicly available there. They did announce that they're using a Dimensity chip in it, and I think Zach knows more about the screen, but that was what stood out to me, is that they're using a Dimensity chip, because my first thought is that you're using a Dimensity chip, so are you still going to charge us Snapdragon money, right? And that's my thought. I always look at everything from the consumer aspect of how much it's going to cost as me as a consumer. Look, there's your thickness right there in that picture. It looks pretty thick. I mean,
it looks like
it looks girthy.
Thick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So, yeah, that's right. I use girthy. That's for
She
you.
dick.
So, I don't know. I mean, it's I, as a whole, I don't trust them as a company. I'm concerned about just the stuff they do and how they treat their consumers. And I've said this before in multiple different assets. This Pocket Air Mini is the only device of theirs that I haven't canceled my pre-order on, because just the delays and the shenanigans. I don't trust them. I think that I don't think they're consumer focused in any way, shape, or form. And just this thing that they're doing now, where they're sending these Konkr Pocket Fits to Target, it's not just a slap in the face. This is they slapped you, you fell over, and they walked over and pooped on you when you were walking by on top of it. You know what I mean? It's really bad, man. It's really bad.
That was graphic. That was
Yeah,
graphic.
that's how I feel. It's rough, man. It's rough. Clef, are you proud of me?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm doing things right now. I just can't say them. Gigi said that I should keep those things for myself, but I'm doing things because I'm proud of you.
Is that a reference to the whip cracking? Do I? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, because I was gonna say, people know me as the whip cracker here, but they don't know that Nelly has an invisible noose around me here. This is why I sound like that, right?
Just gotta pull that.
Exactly. Just like a puppet,
choker.
just like a
That.
puppet master. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it, Clef, what you said, but now that I think about it and I look at like all of these stills and stuff, there's actually no shot of the back, so immediately. Even Nelly, you're an iPhone user, right? You would be concerned about the speed holes or the size of the holes.
Absolutely.
In the back, right? And then there's no side profile, like you said, Clef. So, I mean, I know people were kind of skeptical or critical of like the M-Con and how thick that is, but like this is an M-Con you can't remove, right? Like it's there forever, And as Matt said, I'm concerned that with this MediaTek chip inside here, it's like, if they still charge you that Qualcomm Snapdragon money, that's a bad time for everybody. So, yeah.
And that chip is 3 years old, right? And it's great. I don't mind it, but there's some compatibility issues. And if you're the Apple of handhelds, then it should just work without issues. I mean, maybe that's an unrealistic expectation. Push a dig in there. I mean, Nelly wouldn't understand because she doesn't know anything about Android.
Exactly.
It's just too challenging for her. So I get that. So
You know what?
Yeah.
You're just better off not knowing.
I get that people are not excited about the chip. I will say, because they're entering a new territory, funny enough, that's something I would give a little bit of leeway to AYANEO. Just because to me it's kind of like, okay, if this is what is necessary to enter the space, then I get it. Like it's that compromise you have to make to have your foot in the door, and then we'll adjust on the next SKU. Is that something you should get? I would wait. I would wait and see how it performs, how they feel about the device themselves once they release it, and if we have a successor, and when we do, if we do, what kind of chip do they put in there? But I understand the excitement of having something like that in your pockets. I mean, it's going to be a big bulge. Now, some of us carried that on the daily without a phone. So. But yeah, that being said, I don't know if I would
My keys aren't that big.
For real. For real. I'm glad you said it.
Oh my.
Oh, real quick, Zach, did you say you knew about the screen? Because I'd be curious to know.
Yeah, I read somewhere that it's a 2400 by 1080. So it's a 20 by 9.
So it's like like a 7-inch screen or something?
I did some digging around.
Huge.
So I did some digging around, and it looks like it could possibly be the old Red Magic 6 or 7.
Oh,
No.
And that's about a 5-year-old phone, which I mean, that checks out. Like, if you're putting 1080, like, I mean, most of your flagship phones are onto, 2K screens now. So, and those bezels are pretty thick by today's standards, too. So it would not surprise me at all if they've somehow got some old panels from those older Red Magic phones.
that's quite fair.
But yeah, I mean, it looks like they're definitely using some older parts. I mean, the chip, which, Dimensity is not that terrible. And I mean, in my opinion, the big issue is going to be with, like, say, things like driver support, things like that. Like, there's always quirks, more so than there is with Snapdragon. And they're not, once they kind of, mess something up, it might take a while to get it fixed. And this is something you're going to be having in your pocket using every day. It's your phone. It's not just a handheld, right? It's not just a gaming machine. So when you're spending that kind of money, especially like, using that much older stuff, I almost guarantee they're still going to ask flagship price for it because it's AYANEO. So, I mean, you're looking at a, $1,500-$1,600 phone or whatever, just like an Apple or Samsung. You're going to pay that for this thing that's got older parts in it? I don't know, man.
Honest, if they go for that kind of pricing, they're ballsy. I kind of think they're not gonna try to push the flagship pricing, but if they do, oh my lord, is that DOA?
I don't see how they make a profit without doing that.
I mean, older chip, older screen. You would think that they already have a lot of R&D into like just controllers as a whole. And they technically can probably piggyback off of the Pocket S design. I don't think, honestly, it's going to be that expensive for them. If they are looking to get $1,500,
There's no way.
Dude, like Arthur, man, something's got to give here. That would make absolutely like. I think they might hit the 4 digits. I'm thinking like maybe $1,099, but I feel like even that would be overpriced. If they can aim for like a $899, $999, I think that would be,
I was just about to ask you, do you really think that this thing could be $899 and people would buy it for $899?
Nope.
Let me enter in a couple more things here. So, Nelly, I did find the shots of the back here. Look at this.
Oh yeah, let me pull out that ruler again.
This is yeah. This is, granted, this is the controller part of it, right? But the thing that we have to factor in is this is a phone. So first of all, AYANEO being a Chinese company, are they going to support all the bands that, are supported internationally, especially like, big market that is in America? That's one. And then look here. I think that's the camera. Like, if that's the camera, I'm not 100% sure.
Looks like a weak camera.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking like you could get an old flagship these days, and not even that old. Like, you can get an iPhone 15 Pro Max, you can get an iPhone 16 Pro Max for sub $800, like it's refurb or whatever. But that thing, besides it not having a built-in controller, is going to blow this thing away, like, by every other measure, right?
I mean, if we're being realistic here, I'm pretty sure you can get the very latest Red Magic 11 for less than $1,000.
Yeah, you think like $899? No, right? Like, what does this have to come in at?
I think with the chipset and the older screen, I think Too Loud hit it right on the nose. 600 max. I mean, and I'm questioning 600. I'm questioning 600. I think in like 5, it's a Dimensity 9300. It's a 3-year-old, chipset. And if Zach is right, it's a 5-year-old screen.
It's not impossible because as much as AYANEO historically has like premium pricing for devices that may appear to be premium but are not always once they get into consumers' hands, there are also instances where they were very aggressive on pricing. So it's not impossible. I think 600 would be amazing. Not that I would want to get one, but I think it would be there would be greater odds of them convincing people, but I also think 600 is a unicorn stream right now. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think that should be a price point that they target if they want to move units. But at the same time, do they need to move units? I mean, I think they need to prove a point. I think that's what they're doing right now. And this is going to be something that happens.
I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I was saying, well, how come you think 600 is not achievable?
Just because there are some R&D costs to upfront, for sure. I don't see, like I said, AYANEO have a history of sometimes being very aggressive with their pricing. And funny enough, this is something we've seen from Qualcomm, devices that have Qualcomm chips in them. It's possible that they move to MediaTek to have an even more aggressive price point, but at the same time, AYANEO, like if there's one thing, look, I can get on AYANEO's back for things that I believe they don't stand right by me. But if there's one thing I got to give them credit for is they're great tacticians. They're strategists. Now, I could probably put the evil moniker behind or in front of, but strategist nonetheless. So they should know that they have something that no one else has, and that we know for a fact that a lot of people have asked for a long time. That is worth something. That is worth most likely that they are footing a lot of that R&D to get that out the door. Like I said, I think a lot of that R&D also comes into the Pocket S. But I don't know, man, 600 is not a whole lot for a cell phone. It's feasible. You have cell phones that are far less than that, but we're still talking about AYANEO. And we're still talking about a design we've never seen.
Yeah, we shall see. There's a couple of really great questions we got in the chat here. Just like from a Vegan Pop-Tart here who said, the real question is how much is the retro power version? Yeah. Or the unmarked version or whatever they call it. Yeah, it'll be an extra $100, $200 premium to it. But hey, you'll probably get a really nice box. And if they change the battery size later, maybe they'll throw in a free Pocket Air Mini or something. I don't know. So
a nice box.
A nice box, yeah. It does sound like, though, everyone's kind of in agreement that, this is tactical, this is strategic. It's not like all of these moves, basically. It's not, they didn't just decide to go and do this. So, that seems like the general trend. And, since we're on the topic of, like these ARM devices, which we don't often talk about, I do think it's worth mentioning that, we're getting more and more and more of these. And in the context of conversations we've had in previous Speedcast episodes, which I highly encourage you all to go and check out, especially that episode where we had the Fox on and we talked about FEX, which is basically kind of like the Proton for Steam Deck. It allows Android phones or Android, let's say tablets, to basically be able to have access to SteamOS, or what would be the SteamOS, which is a big deal, I think, going forward. Hopefully by the time we get, Steam Frame sometime early this year. Speaking of a company that also pumps out handhelds like no tomorrow, those who are also interested in is there something funny about that phrasing, Zach? I mean, maybe
No.
See when we say he cracks the whip? That was that moment.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone saw it.
No, I just want to know what's funny because I missed the joke. Being
I know.
I
just saw it. I just like you. Well, you didn't say the company yet, but like
introduce the company.
Clicked in my brain.
Please introduce the company.
It's true. Like I never thought of it until you said it. But
tell us, Zach.
Embernick really does.
There you go.
Do that quite a bit.
Yeah. Tell us about this company, Zach. What do you think of this company? Tell us how you really feel about the company.
Well, I mean, I'm neutral. I mean, for the most part. I mean, there was some stuff whenever they were complaining during the tariff times, but whatever. We got over it.
Do you like this handheld, or have you seen the store yet?
I looked at it a little bit. I mean, I'm not super particularly enthused by it. I mean, we don't have any specs on this thing, right? I haven't seen any anywhere.
I don't think so.
I think I've just seen hey, they're making a Vita like. It's probably gonna. Smart Pro, maybe Smart Pro S, maybe a little bit better.
Okay. Well,
I'm predicting. I don't think they're gonna go like too high with this thing.
Okay. What do you think, Matt?
Well, so first, Zach, I love you, but the Smart Pro is garbage. I've always thought it was garbage. I hate that thing so much.
Well, that's why I'm not super enthused about that. Smart Pro's not bad. It's just manage your expectations.
I hate it.
Just don't play PS2 on it.
Oh my god! So this thing looks cool. It's very nostalgic. It looks awesome. The black one is really nice looking. Right. So we've seen a history with Ambernick. So is there a potential for this thing to have 8300, which is their flagship over the last year that they've used? Right. Even still, the 8300. I think it struggled a little bit with Vita 3K, which is the Android emulator for PS3 for PS Vita, right? So there's some concern there, or it could be a T820 because there's two models. There's a regular and then there's a Pro. Is that a RAM difference or is that a chipset difference? That's not outside the realm of possibilities with AYANEO. AYANEO, Embernick. You got me AYANEO on the brain. We've seen them historically take devices that look like other devices and put chipsets that are too weak to actually run that device. Like the RG Arc, which looked like a Saturn, and they couldn't run it, or the RG DS, which barely can run DS, right? So I'm a little concerned there. That being said, it looks freaking awesome. But there's other things. Is there a picture of the back?
Yes, there is.
Okay,
yeah.
And
in the video, there's a picture of the back. It looks like a Vita in the back, pretty much.
Right. It looks like a Vita, but does it have touchpads? Probably not. Probably.
I think it has buttons or something, like custom buttons.
It has two extra buttons, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I guess we don't know if that is going to be specific to the Pro model or not.
That white looks insane. That white looks insane.
It does.
Yeah. So.
It looks sexy.
It does. It does. So I'm just curious what there's a lot of questions to be had about it. But yeah.
There it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So.
Oh, it says.
Yeah, I just
RG
don't see
Vita
it being flagship though. We just got the 557 a year ago, maybe a little bit less than that.
No, and we've got 557, 47. We got the 477.
It's been
477Ms and the 477V, which is their most recent. They all have the 8300, but they do that. Last year they went on this tear where they did 12 devices. 9 of them had the same chipset, and 3 had the other chipset. So that's something that AYANEO. Jesus, Ambernick does. I keep saying AYANEO. So I'm curious to see what they do with it. It looks super cool to me. I'm a little skeptical on I think there's going to be too on the nose if it looks like this and can't play Vita. But we'll see.
Oh, I mean, that would be totally messed up if it can't play Vita, right?
That would be really messed up.
And as Geek Boy said, more importantly, how big are the holes? But I mean, as a person who's not really into this scene, Nelly, do you like the look of this? Do you think this would be something that you would even recommend to your audience?
Oh, I mean, I have a PS Vita. It's hacked. It has all the games. I would rather play it on that. It's just, I don't care about any of this.
You boomers and your original hardware.
Yeah, I have the original hardware, but you can get the original hardware for a great price.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, if you can pick one up, sweet. Just rock the OG.
But what about the versatility of this thing, or the nicer screen and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. But even then, playing the Vita, I mean, I when I did all the things to it that I redacted in this conversation.
Whoa.
It was exciting at the beginning, and then I lost interest back to the x86, It's just I can't
So
hold my
one
interest
note.
long enough.
My God, you're so one note, lady.
Just want to play those AAA titles. How much does it get? You know, that Dispatch and
God.
Expedition 33 and Spider-Man. You know.
It's okay, Nelly. You have tolerated this cast of
I have.
overbearing nerds who are trying to push these retro handhelds on you. You will have the note to sing, shortly when we talk about this
Yeah, it's okay.
war that's going on with against your beloved
just,
x86 handhelds. Yeah.
Oh,
Keep eating my donut.
Wait, what
There
does
you
that
go.
say? What does that say?
Tim Hortons?
What is
Tim
that?
Hortons.
I've never heard of it.
You don't know about Tim Hortons?
which, by the way, shout out to Tim Hortons because they gave me a second donut and I never paid for it because they made a mistake. So that's awesome.
Is it a maple donut or a honey cruller?
Of course, dude. The one I had earlier was a maple donut, and that is a maple with white cream stuffed.
Just the way you like it, sir.
So,
Just the way you like it.
Are all pastries in Canada covered in maple?
No.
Hell yeah, dude. Of course, we have Trojan maple flavored. You know what Trojan is? Do they have Trojans in the state?
I don't think we're
Bro.
allowed to talk about that without getting
are we not?
demonetized.
Right.
I'm
Okay, sure.
I'm not
Now,
old enough
that
to
being
talk
said,
stuff anymore.
Embernic, I'm hyped for it. I like how it looks. I like their line of doing retro devices and bringing them back. That's what I'm excited for. Now, there is one thing I want to point out. It is not new of Embernic to release a SKU and have different tiers. The fact that they're specifying that we have both an RG Vita and an RG Vita Pro is something I don't recall seeing from Embernic. So I do believe we should expect a greater gap in SoCs. And potentially that is an opportunity for Embernic to open a door that they haven't before. I would love to see a Snapdragon on the Pro model because, to the point, from anything that has released so far from Embernic, I truly don't see how they're going to give you effective Vita emulation. Maybe something is planned to address that, at least with the Pro model. But beyond that, I love how it looks. It very much reminds most people in the comments, and I as well, of the Odin 2 Mini, which is a great device. So I'm excited for it. That's one I might pick up. I regretted not picking up the RGDS. So I'm sending out waves into the universe. Embernic. All right. So that's it.
I'm not frozen. I'm just speechless by the amount of glazing for the donuts and not the retro handhelds. I mean, I get, how they say you should know your audience. Clearly, we don't. I can't think of a better time. Sorry, Nelly, you're going to have to hold on to the x86 just a moment longer because I want to take a quick intermission here and thank everyone for tuning into our live show. So let's shift gears now and talk about Nelly's favorite topic, the only topic that matters: x86 handhelds, and in the context of them being encroached upon by Android and ARM handhelds, right? There's so many of those ARM handhelds, and in the context of not just FEX and SteamOS on Android, we have to consider price, right? We were looking at that Konkr Pocket Fit earlier in the stream from Target, right? That thing is encroaching upon like a Steam Deck price. And we know a lot of us in the chat are very enthusiastic about things that are like way in the top end, like Strix Halo. But for those who are, budget conscious, you have to think, yeah, 400, maybe 500, like Switch 2 pricing is probably the most that they want to pay. So the fact that these things are like bumping right up against handheld PCs, I think warrants a discussion, if nothing else, right? But of course, your discussion doesn't matter at all if Microsoft is breaking your handhelds, right? Because if anyone caught wind of that news recently, a Windows update broke Armory Crate, which is the kind of on-screen overlay, TDP controller and all that stuff for your Xbox Ally, Xbox Ally X, Xbox Ally being the white one that Nelly wants to throw in the trash, and then the OG Ally and the Ally X, right? So this was the story. This one here, this article here from Windows Central. So did anyone actually experience this firsthand?
No.
No,
I haven't updated because you have to go right in and like actually update the Windows stuff in the full screen mode. So unless you go into full screen mode and you've done that, you should be okay. Not out of full screen mode and like into desktop mode and installed.
This is something.
This
on
is why I don't
every-
have that problem.
Fair, Bazite or SteamOS. That's something that I just haven't done in many, many years, which is jump on a Windows update. I wait many, many months after it released for them to like work the kinks out, because there's always issues. There's always issue with the latest update. At this point, it's almost like you ask yourself, is it by design to have everyone talk about them like free press? What is it? Like, why is there always an issue? So no, I don't update, and I won't for many months until I feel the need or that there's a feature that is in there.
Yeah, and we got a message here from Michael Benny in the chat, which is also ironic about Microsoft not being ASUS's ally, because, you know, the Xbox Ally and Xbox Ally X are supposed to be their partner. It's an official partnered relationship. It's not like throwing Bazite onto your Legion Go or, you know, throwing Bazite onto your Ally X. Even if Bazite states that it's officially supported, it's not something that ASUS has worked on with them directly, right? So I think that is worth noting.
Is that not pushing a partner forward though? Because everyone is going to pick it up. Free press, guys. Free
No,
press.
you're right, but I just mean like Microsoft is an official partner, like you know, right out of the gate.
I know
right?
what you mean. I'm just being
You're
I'm
being
being
a clef.
A tinfoil hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, fair.
Potential hot take here is this: they're so focused on the Xbox full screen experience that they passively, mistakenly did it on purpose. I'm sure they didn't, but I mean, right? Because I don't have my Xbox Ally anymore because Nelly made me return it. She's because I got the white.
That was the
one
white
initially.
one. Yeah.
And she was really
Send it back. You're getting ripped off.
she was very very worded conversation where I walked away crying and needing a Twinkie while I was on my way back to Best Buy to return it. Okay, so but yeah, I maybe they're just more focused on it. I mean, I don't think that they would do it on purpose, but maybe accidentally on purpose. I don't know, and probably not.
For the people who are wondering and they've had this experience themselves, I mean, you know, it has to do with the smart app control is what this article is stating. Has anyone heard of any other like similar apps like Legion Space or OneXConsole or even like handheld?
OneXConsole. It will delete, like, because of the new Windows. As soon as they did the newest version, if you tried to install or reinstall or do anything with OneXConsole, even update it, it was like deleting it and saying it was a severe Trojan. Just because it controls, you know, TDP and VRAM and a whole bunch of other features that it controls for your handhelds. Windows is like, nope, can't have it. And then it would remove it. And then you try to install it or even download it back on and it keeps deleting it automatically. Like, it's such a pain to try to get that going once it detects it as a virus.
Interesting.
Got it. I mean, to be fair to everyone's concern, I guess maybe it's not fair to take Microsoft's side ever, but it's the context of, you know, generally speaking, you have to be a large enough developer to apply for the certification to then be whitelisted, right? So if people are wondering why some boutique handhelds and stuff like that don't or have their apps flagged like a security risk, that would generally be the reason, you know.
Yep.
So before we move on to the next thing, though, on the topic of the Xbox Ally X, though, did this one was for you, Nelly. This one is for you. Did anyone see this here? This is something kind of cool here.
Whoa.
Oh, I did see that.
What?
I did see that. Yeah. And I thought when I read this article that I was going to see Nelly's face with her big cheesy grin, right? Because
Yeah.
a modder ripped it open and put 64 gigs of RAM on this.
That's sick. I
And-
mean, how much did
right,
they pay
and
for
look
that?
don't worry about that. So yeah, look at the hands. Those are a little stubby. But at first I'm like, are those Nelly's
don't
hands?
look like my hands?
Yeah, at first it's like those are too stubby to be Nelly's hands. Maybe she had her
Yeah.
friend hold it for her or something like that. But interesting. That was the first thing I thought too. Like, how much did it cost to put those to get those chips and put them in there? I mean, but
That's
this looks
wild.
like
That was gonna
Yeah,
be
right?
expensive.
So-
We had
Oh, yeah.
was it the Ally or Ally X? But there was a mod also that kind of made the waves.
a
a
32.
couple-
Yeah, it was for the Ally.
Yeah, and you know those even if you source that RAM from AliExpress, it was already expensive then. I don't even want to imagine now.
No kidding.
That's got to be very expensive a mod.
There's a guy. What's that? Is the name of the modder? Is it like Soul something, or is the same guy
So
that did the
this
Ally
is
one?
you're correct. You're correct, Matt. He's actually in our Discord, so if you want to hit him up and check business inquiries, his name is Slick Buys Mods and Repairs.
That's it. Dude is awesome.
So
yeah.
So he has, he has personally, as you can see from this article here, desoldered the 4 6 GB chips that are here. These are, as it says, 6 GB, 83 or 8533 megatransfers per second micron memory, and then he replaced them with 16 GB chips. That's how you get 64 gigs here. Did I do the math right, Unc?
That's wild.
Do I?
All right. And let's not
Hold on,
forget
gotta get
that
my calculator.
it went from Micron to SK Hynix. So
Right.
Yeah.
So-
not cheap at all. Not
so-
cheap at all.
So yeah, not only is this an expensive thing though, one thing
What
for
a mod.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
One thing for people to know, besides the fact that this requires an immense amount of skill to pull off, there is the potential that like your device just doesn't work the way that it's supposed to after something like a BIOS update, because the BIOS versions are the ones that are pushed out by the manufacturer, right? And so there is a potential that they push out a new BIOS update, let's say, and it doesn't support, this mod because there's no version of an Xbox Ally X that has 64 gigs of RAM. Anything outside of 24. Just want to caution anyone out there who wants to just run out there, and drop
And try
the
it.
cash on
Don't
it.
do it.
Well,
if you
not
have
just
no experience, don't do it.
yeah, definitely don't do it if you have no experience. But I'm saying even if you have the money to do it, and Slick Buys, I've not worked with him personally. I've talked to him a couple of times. He seems to have always be the first one to be doing this, and so he has a good reputation for that. But I'm not cautioning against his skill. I'm cautioning against after in the future, right? Like if he returns to you the product and it works everything, that doesn't mean 6 months later there's not going to be some problems or anything simply because of like BIOS updates or something like that, right?
Well, there used to be a custom BIOS specifically for that. I don't know if the article speaks on it, if that's what's being used to have that 64 gigabyte of RAM, or if somehow Asus made room for that possibility in their ongoing BIOS, which arguably I wouldn't be surprised. I actually wouldn't be surprised, because if you think of how Asus responded to the battery mods when they first started to pop up, and how they made some changes to the Ally X, I wouldn't be surprised if they would have dumping and editing. Okay, there you go. All right. So it's not piggybacking off of the previous one. Now, to be fair, it's not the same device, but from what I remember, I thought that BIOS was also compatible with multiple devices, but okay.
Just something to like keep in mind, right? And that is actually one advantage, even though I know there's probably people out there who think we're just like Chinese handheld boutique apologists. This is one thing that the Chinese handhelds outside of our mainstream handhelds have been offering, like larger RAM configurations. We've spoken at length before about maybe not needing them, but if you have the money, if you have the RAM, use all of it, right?
Fair.
Yeah,
Dig it.
64 is like too much on an Xbox Ally X. Like 32 max. Like that's like the max for that device.
You don't do that expecting more performance in your games, except like maybe that that 0.1 percentile. You do that because you want to run your Rogue Ally like a desktop, and you dock it, and otherwise I don't see why.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. It is cool.
It is cool. Speaking of things that are cool, though, maybe not cool, you tell me. Take a look at this story, everyone. Did you see this? I know Nelly was very curious about it. So, you know what? This is unorthodox, but as this stream goes longer and longer, I feel that noose tightening like really badly. So, Matt, why don't you help me with this? Tell me about this. Why should people care?
This is the follow-up to the MSI Claw AI Plus, with a lot of people know I absolutely loved last year. And I'm sure Zach is going to give me crap because I got rid of it and then regretted it instantly. This is a follow-up to it, right? Last year it had the 258V in it. This year they put the Z2 Extreme in it. And is it a downgrade, right? Because the 258V, you guys have all shown that it's performed, in a lot of instances better, right? And then now this thing, in addition to that, this is only coming with 28 gigs of RAM. The AI Plus came with 32 gigs of RAM, right? They both have 80 watt-hour batteries, but the ergonomics look rough on this one compared to, you know, an Xbox Ally X, right? And then the price point they're asking, this thing costs $100 or $50 more than the AI Plus. So I'm not. Are we paying $50 more for a downgrade? Is that what we're doing? Because we're chumps? You know, I'm not seeing that. I'm not quite sure what we're looking at here or what the expectation is. It's the same screen, which is nice. It's an 8-inch screen, okay, which is a nice screen. It's a better screen than the Xbox Ally X, but it's not worth the extra money if you ask me, because the Xbox Ally X is still $1,000 in LA, or did the price go up?
I don't know what it is in America money. I only know what it is
Oh, America.
in Canada money.
Oh, so we were talking about this earlier. What did you say about the price on the A8 earlier?
On the A8. Well, right now in Canada, you can get it on Amazon.ca, and it takes about like a week-ish to come in, it looks like. But it's $13.99 clef Canadian, which is like more than the Legion Go 2.
No, $13.99.
Or the same. Or the same as the Legion Go 2?
It's $100 less. The Legion Go was $1,500.
Okay.
Oof,
So it's still like, that's not a comparable price or like a compelling price to buy this over the Legion Go 2 when you have 32 gigs and you get a bigger screen with OLED. Like it doesn't make sense. Controllers detachable that are battery. Like it just doesn't make sense to get that. I haven't seen it on any other sites this like so far for Canada, but for the screen size, like it should be the exact same price as the Xbox Ally X, in my opinion. It should be the exact same price point. Yes, you get a bigger screen. That's the the advantage that one has. But like Xbox is partnered with the Ally X, and you get the ergonomics with it. You get these amazing speakers with it. There's also like a high volume of units that are sold with the Xbox Ally X, so there's more accessories for that item. It's more enticing if you want to make any mods, because people make mods for it because it's more profitable to make mods for a device that has high volume sales. So there is some compelling options when you're going from like one device to the next, but they should be the same price. That's what I feel like they should have came in at with this device. Is the same configurations essentially across the board, just you get the bigger screen. That's your advantage of taking the MSI Claw over the Xbox Ally X.
So I have a different take.
Perfect.
See, the thing is, the thing that everybody complains about when it comes down to the Xbox Ally X is the size of the screen and the quality of the panel. And realistically, at least in Canada, I can't speak for the US of A, land of the free. Some days, shots fired. Yeah, this one is 8-inch, so that's a big deal. And based off of very little that I've heard, the panel also is more vibrant. It's more colorful. It's more pleasant to look at. So really, realistically, we're looking, at least Canadians, at a jump of $100. And it's true, you're not getting better RAM, you're not getting a better APU. In fact, I would assume that, this is not the Z2 Extreme AI, but we have yet to see what benefit that is, if ever at all. But at least you're getting a nicer panel and a bigger one. And, that inch matters.
Yeah, but if it's not as pleasant to hold, does that matter?
But that's also it's fair. That's also something that can be addressed, though. Much
Can
like
it though? Because no one's making accessories for it. There's not enough units sold.
No, the community will. If you have a 3D printer, I'm pretty sure there's going to be something.
Let me ask you guys this. I know Gigi's had it, but have any of you had the AI Plus?
Nope.
What do you think of the ergonomics on that?
It was a massive, massive improvement over the previous one. The Claw 8 AI was surprisingly pleasant to hold. That is definitely an advantage that the Xbox Ally X has, and the Xbox Ally, even though, white one, don't buy that, right?
That's right.
But it still has the grips. And, that's a benefit. Like, this is something I was so looking forward to with the Xbox and Ally and Xbox Ally X. And it is a benefit, but I find that it doesn't have as huge an impact as I was hoping it would have. So, is it going to be more comfortable than the A8 without holding the A8? I'm sure it will be, but then it kind of comes down to, okay, what are you willing to trade down and what will you trade up against it? And I think the trades here are compelling, you know, by having a larger screen, by having a screen that is more vibrant. And for me, that is definitely the biggest struggle that I have with the Xbox Ally and Ally X. It's just looking at that screen. It's like, man, you're bringing me back. You're making me feel right out of the box that I'm buying a device that is. It almost feels like it remains in a previous chapter of PC handhelds. I think this might do a better job at feeling like you have something modern. But with that said, where I absolutely agree is you're at a stone throw distance of a Legion Go 2. Get a Legion Go 2.
That's right.
Let's
If you can get
take
your
this
hands on one.
Okay, Xbox Ally X comparison. What about against the 8AI Plus? Because the 8AI Plus, same screen, more RAM, faster RAM. Because the A8 is only 8,000 megahertz and the 8AI Plus is 8533. You guys are the smart ones. I'm the good-looking one. You tell me what that means. I just know it's faster, right? And it costs more. Well, actually, apparently on Best Buy, the 8AI Plus, they raised the price on the 8AI Plus. So, I mean, and the 258V in some instances is more performant, right? So now, how do you feel about that compared to those two? And the 258V, you got those sweet-ass faceplates that you can swap out for different colors.
Which are awesome.
On the 8AI plates. So, and it's got better ergo, just from the what it looks like.
That's
Right,
a very compelling point to make. And I think the AAI Plus would be where I'd personally go between the two. That's actually a very fair point that you brought up. I think I'd go for that one. Now, I understand why some people, especially like, you know, people that are maybe a little bit more power users, I do believe even though Intel has improved their drivers so much, in the back of my mind, there would still be that, but I might run into issues, you know, just because of the maturity of the drivers. And I can understand how that could impact one's decision. But if we put that aside and you're the kind of person where you're thinking it doesn't matter because there's always going to be titles to run and they'll run better, then yeah, the Claw 8 AI is a no-brainer. Great point.
Yeah, no, I'm reading some of the comments there. Like, Yell has the green one, which is pretty cool. Like the green one is really cool.
So fly.
I love that color.
So
it's
fly.
so cool.
Oh my gosh.
I would be more like compelled if I could get a green one. I'll be like, you know what, maybe just because it's green and it looks pretty cool. But I do like the way that it looks. But it does look very sharp on the edges. So I'd be curious to see like how it actually feels from like a
the first claw
standpoint.
The first claw had that corner angle thing that dug
and they
right
kind of
into
went
the
back
palm.
to it, which is interesting. Like they went back to like a hybrid version of that, but it almost looks like a triggerish grip, like that they tried to go for, you know, as an angle on this. So I don't know. I'd have to put it in my hands and see what it feels like. But you know, you're right though with the RAM, and from that price point, I would even like I would just go to a Legion Go 2. If you were in the middle of those two prices, I would just go at this point, like for the $100 difference, or if it's a $50 difference between, you know, having that one $50 more. I would rather go through the Legion Go 2 at that point and get that OLED panel with the like solid refresh rate, just a bigger panel in general, have those detachable controllers, have that 32 gigs of RAM. I would rather have that. And because I have the Intel in some games it performs better, yes, absolutely. But some games it's still kind of weird sometimes. And I just want to avoid that if I can with the AMD chips. It's just a more pleasant experience than like a jarring, like what is happening in my game. And then you just got to give it a little bit of time to like catch up and be like, okay, now it's balanced itself out.
Yeah. So, Vegan was talking about are you talking about the grips, or is the Vegan talking about the faceplates? They had some that were carbon fiber.
Yeah, Gigi knows all about those faceplates, right, Gigi? You went through them all, and then you passed off. You swapped out those faceplates so many times within that span that you had it, and then you ditched your Claw like it was, you know, old news.
Like it was Nelly treating a 7-inch handheld. Yeah.
That is
You know,
so much more tame.
I've revived my Xbox Ally X because I got these micro switch buttons that I've just modded. Oh, it changes everything. You know, it makes it bearable in that 7-inch screen because I got those micro switch buttons. I just feel so good.
You're just so focused on the buttons, you don't realize the screen sucks with the giant bezel.
That's right. It's just distracting. You got to distract yourself with all the other mods so that it averts your eyes from the 7-inch screen.
Yes.
Fair.
You brought up a
What do you
great
think
point
is-
about mods, though, Nelly. There is one mod here that kind of pushes the 8 AI Plus, I think, a little further ahead. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because this could be a whole rabbit hole. It could be a whole future episode, which if you're in the chat or you catch a replay of this, please do let us know if this is something that's right up your alley. And this was that some Redditors managed to basically backport XeSS3. This is basically like FSR4 or DLSS3, which has multi-frame generation. So basically you're able to have multi-frame generation on your claw. And to be clear, as of right now anyway, XeSS3 only works with Intel-based chips because it uses XMX cores, which are based on the NPU as far as I understand, which means, surprise, the AI is actually doing something. And no, I don't mean running this show. I mean giving you multiple frames. So
Really? I didn't know that. That is awesome.
That is really cool.
So they were able to get this also if you have an Intel Arc GPU, like an A series or a B series, you're able to get this on there as well. And it's, as far as I understand, it's not that complicated of a swap. It actually, all it requires that you do is you simply swap out some folder DLL files, or you replace the names, and they're like already there if you have the Intel Arc drivers installed. You just download like a new installer, and then it's like there in another folder. So I guess Intel is like preparing for Panther Lake by having them there.
Do you know if that works on both the 258V and 285H?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yeah. So
And
this
the
is somebody's
255H.
Yes. Yep. All of those that have Arc graphics on them.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. So
So-
this is a cool thing.
One of the questions that Gigi had asked was, is it too little too late? I'm torn in the middle of that because I know the HX 370, which is the architecture this thing, the Z2 Extreme is built on, is a year old. But, you know, we've seen with the Z1 Extreme even that they took it and they added life to it, and it's really great in handhelds. So I don't know if it's too little too late for that, but I do think it's too little too late in that, you know, we saw Intel advertising Panther Lake, and they said there was going to be Panther Lake in handhelds, and one of the icons on the board behind them when they were talking about it was the MSI icon. So there's some of us fanboys that are really excited and hoping that we do see another iteration of the claw with a Panther Lake in it. And for me, then at that point, yeah, it's too little too late. You know, so I'm curious to see, you know, what you guys think about that. You know, and I know Zach hasn't said anything about this because he's a Legion Go fanboy, but I mean, you know, you know, I'm curious. Like, is it too little too late for the Z2 handhelds, Z2E handhelds? Because right now they're the big deal, right? I mean, well, the 395s are the big deals, but I mean, the 395s are for fancy people like Nelly and stuff that can actually swing that, because I can't. So I don't know. I'm curious what you guys
I mean,
think.
in my opinion, I wrote off Z2 series as soon as it started, just because I had Z1, and like, in my opinion, I'm like, why am I spending that much extra money? But I mean, as far as, you know, just objectively, no, I don't think it's too late. I mean, we still don't know what Panther Lake's going to look like. A couple laptops we've seen are stupid expensive, so I mean, it's hard telling where that pricing's going to go. And then of course, Apex, GPD Win 5s, those are way stupid priced out too. So no, I don't think it's too little too late between either of these claws. And, you know, as much as I am a Legion fanboy, that, like, if the Legion Go 2 came down to 1150, 1200, we're having a whole other conversation. But I still think even at that price between Xbox and between Legion, like, I'd still grab either one of these claws over spending more for a Legion or paying less for an Xbox.
Here's a big thing with Z2E that it does a lot better is if you run lossless scaling, you know, as some of the things. I still think there's room for those devices, and the ability of an aftermarket, and we talk about it often. You know, you have places like our Discord to see if there are deals, people selling some devices in there as well. No, I still think there's room for those devices, but and even more so to the point what Zach just said is something I also caught wind of, which is that, Panther Lake, it's exciting and all, but the reports that we're getting is that this is not going to be cheap. If that turns out to be true, which everything points to that being the case, we might find ourselves in 6 months from now thinking, well, it wasn't that bad after all, paying $1,200 for a MSI Claw A8 or 8 AI Plus, however that price is.
What's your current recommendation for anyone who hasn't caught a previous Speedcast, especially in the light of that Legion Go 2 SteamOS edition we were talking about that everyone's kind of waiting for and hoping that the price comes down a good enough chunk? Like, are people should people be hodling? Should they hope for another 650 Legion Go S? Like, what's your call?
I mean, if you got nothing, obviously an x86 device, I'm still going to recommend, Z1, Legion Go, just because you can get it cheaper on the secondhand market. But if you already got something Z1, or if you got something Z2 and you're looking at whatever, like with the pricing of everything, why not get a retro handheld and, a couple $100 and have something that's a little more dedicated. Take some of that analysis paralysis away from you, rather than just spending a ton of money on something that's only going to give you a little bit of a boost. Right now, like if I wanted to buy something, I would probably buy a retro handheld over something x86 because I'm not going to get enough for paying $1,400 for a Legion Go 2. I could buy like 6 or 7. Retro handhelds for that price.
You send that to us tonight.
I have a whole collection.
So what I was going to say is get an iPad mini.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
No. All right. So seriously, on a serious note, and I know it's gonna sound a little bit of a cheap response and an easy escape here, but if you're stepping into x86 and you don't know, and to what Zach said with choice paralysis and everything, here's my advice to you, the person who's watching us right now. First, hello, and nice to have you here. Go for whatever cheapest x86 you can get your hands on. Because the thing is, it is such a unique ecosystem. The battery life is not like what you'd expect from a phone. It's heavier. You're going to have a lot of fan noise with those devices. So there are a lot of quirks to potentially get past. So if you are new to that space, my best advice would be whatever device that you can get that is the cheapest, get that. Make sure that you like that environment. It's also, that's just the nature of PC gaming. There's going to be a lot more tweaking. There's going to be a lot more playing into your settings kind of thing. So that's not for everybody. Some people don't want to get into that. And if you don't, well, then the easy answer would be get a Steam Deck. But if you can get an x86 as opposed to a retro handheld, which I think would be a great pick, to be honest. But my thought here is get something that can allow you to do everything so that you can determine what you want out of that market. And once you do, then you adjust, you adapt, and of course.
Was that your,
all right, Matt, get in there.
Was that your blue steel from Zoolander? Do it again.
Wait, what? I made so many faces
He loves
today.
the Zoom. He loves the Zoom.
Zoolander.
We love the
Yeah.
Zoom.
One second. iPad mini.
You pointed this out earlier in the year that the Legion Go S, the Z1E, is the best deal you're going to find and the best bang for the buck if you knew the x86. And Zach is right about getting stuff on the secondhand market, but what if that's not an option for you, right? I still think going to that Legion Go S with the Z1E version is probably the best bang for the buck. If you get it open box at Best Buy or on sale, I mean, you saw that thing for like $550, and I was like, holy crap! I watched this video and I went to go buy it, and they were sold out. They didn't have any more, and I waited. I'm like, oh, I'll see if there's any open box, and now the price is up. The other part to that is that the Legion Go 2 with the SteamOS variant, I don't think it's going to be that much cheaper. I mean, look at the Legion Go S the Steam and the Windows variant, right? It's only $100 difference. So I still think we're going to be up in that price range. I don't think the Windows license is going to save them that much money. I think it's going to be there. Now, my answer still is go retro handheld. I think for half the price of even the Z1E, you're going to get a badass Android retro handheld that's going to do almost everything. And I'm not a huge Game Native or Game Hub fan, but then you do have access to that stuff. And if you absolutely have to have a retro handheld, Clef is right. Find a freaking Steam Deck in the used market for $300 or $250 or something. If you're new to it, that's the best new user experience you're going to find, because it's just, you've heard Tulok say it tons of times. Was the time to game. You turn it on and you go. You don't have to launch anything. You just turn it on and go. But I'm going to say retro handheld, just because I have like 70 of them a couple feet away from me, and there's just so many, right? And it's just so many options and form factors, sizes, and you can get an AYANEO Odin that's going to play almost a good majority of PC games and stuff too. And it's got a huge screen, so like Zach loves to stream. You can stream on a device like that, and it's going to cost you $200. Oh, there you go. Or you can get quite possibly the greatest Android handheld ever made, the AYANEO Thor, which needs an update. And you have no grips on that thing, dude?
I removed them because
gosh.
The TPU grip is amazing. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I love it. It gives me that nostalgia hit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I think that's my answer.
You know what, though?
That thing is $360, and that'll run some Windows games.
And batteries for days.
Battery for days. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
So,
we haven't even asked the real question, though. Do you guys not have phones?
No. Okay. Well,
oh my gosh.
before Nelly shakes her head harder,
Yeah, get him. Is everybody ready for this? Buckle up.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay, we're all
I still
buckled
have
up.
donut.
Everyone's
I
seated.
still have donut left for the emotional abuse that I'm about to
Shove it in your mouth right now so that you can just listen. Brace yourselves. Okay. Okay, if you're on a budget, Legion OS. That was by far the best option in 2025 on sale, sure. But if you want power, and I'm talking power, what you really want is the Apex. And and by that I mean really any 395 device. If you can get a 395 device, get a 395 device. If you're playing all the latest, greatest AAA titles, I've just seen it Yell put it that Avatar is struggling on the A8. Yeah. All those AAA games struggle when you try to push it to the limits on those devices. So if you want to have power like you do in your PlayStation 5, like you do in your Xbox Series S or Series X, you need to go into handheld gaming. You're going to want to get a 395 device. And that's going to be where you're going to be able to sit for the next few years and just rock that baby and not have to sacrifice anything. So that's my... we've arrived. You guys can all get out now.
That is the best answer ever, and I have no rebuttal, because I would love to get one of those, but I also have I've been happily married for 30 years, and I know what will disrupt that happy marriage. And 2 G's on a handheld after Nelly pretty much threatened my life if I didn't spend $1,500 on this Legion Go 2 a couple months ago, might be the disruption that kills my 30-year marriage. So I'm just gonna.
But you'd have the power though, like all that power to satiate. Is that the word? Your loss of that 30 years,
and the 85-watt battery. Oh,
that you can detach for a lighter model for a night.
Yeah,
that's a good time. Then you can keep the room cool with that frostbite. Wow.
Yeah. And you tether to that battery so you still feel connected to that power.
Dang.
Yeah.
I need to leave this podcast. I'm
getting dangerously close and inappropriate.
Yeah, if we are talking about this kind of pricing for Panther Lake, it really does lead you to that argument of just getting a Strix Halo, either 388, 392, or 395. Like, it almost doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you get some proportional increase in price. right? Whereby the 395 is like $2,800 now, or $3,000. Because then again, it's a big tough pill to swallow when it costs the same amount as your mortgage or some people's cars, right? Like it's kind of crazy.
Isn't that what Cliff said last week though about the price increase when he was talking about inflation with the companies? He was just talking about that last week. So we very potentially could see that on the Strix Halo stuff next year.
Absolutely.
And that's and it could be, so we could be in the same boat either way. And I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a chump, but I'm like, if this is going to be the same thing either way, I want to play with the new toy.
Yeah, and super quick, because we actually talked about that also a couple of episodes ago when Steve was on, and we talked about how much traveling that chip is supposedly having to do before it goes back to Intel ready to be put in a device. And by the way, I want to tout real quick that we have some different, new, exciting content coming to the channel where we'll discuss a very, on-point topic with x86 versus ARM, and look out for that. And if you're not a subscriber, you definitely should, because I'm excited for that one to drop. I think you guys are going to like it. This is going to be all the hype. But yeah, we have more content planned for you guys, and that's one of them where we discuss that topic in a very different fashion. So yeah, stay tuned for that.
That is a great plug, Clef. I couldn't have said it better. Other than make sure to check out our friend Matt, Digital Jedi, on Safe State Podcast with our other very loud friend, Too Loud Tech.
True. Very rude.
Very, very rude. He's too rude. He's too late. He's too loud. He's all the excessive things. But he runs a great podcast with our buddy Matt. So sometimes I show up there uninvited as well. So if you're curious about that, definitely go and check that out.
You are
links
all
will be in the
welcome to
description.
show up uninvited.
Don't listen to him.
See,
He's
I
just saying
don't
that
know.
on here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we show up and he won't let us in.
Yeah, exactly. He'll
Well,
lock
I didn't
the
say I was
door.
going to let you in. I didn't say I was going to let you in. I said you're all invited.
He'll lock the door because he said, no, Nelly talked shit about my retro handhelds. I'm locking the
She
door.
did. And she doesn't like beans.
She already kicked me out of the car.
Yeah.
She kicked me out of the
She
car.
did.
Get out.
Yeah, get out.
Oh, my God.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for all I've got.
Hit those like and subscribe buttons.
Are you going to say adieu this time?
Adieu.
He's dancing off.
We.
Yes.